I'm here with Christian Huber from Diakonie Katastrophenhilfe. Welcome, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mark.
Tell us a bit about Diakonie Katastrophenhilfe and especially your approach to partnership and how you balance that need for local partners in terms of the humanitarian development divide, because that's been very relevant for the summit.
Yeah. So yes, Diakonie Katastrophenhilfe is a German faith-based NGO from the Protestant side of the churches. We work in 45 different countries in the world and have around 60 million project funds that we get a lot through our own fundraising with local churches, with then through the government, and then through third donor funding like ECHO or the German Foreign Ministry or the German Ministry for Development. Now we work only through local actors in partnership with them because we think that this is it's one of them. Yeah, it was very famous here at the summit as well, that this is a relevant approach to deal with a lot of the needs that are on the ground. These people have been there, they are there when disaster strikes, and they will be there in the future. And that is something that we find really relevant in our work, and we try to build partnerships around this. We engage with them not only through the projects, but we try as well to build capacities, to discuss needs in terms of capacity building, and through the projects, because it's very sensible to link them together, the two things, and not leave it abstract. And yes, I've just been I think it's a good way to deal to work.
But when we're talking about the localization of aid, there's the challenge that humanitarian assistance may be provided through local actors, but those local actors are also part of the development process because, as you say, they are going to remain there. So how does that play out given this tension between humanitarian and development provision?
Well, we are trying, what we are trying strongly is like sort of, besides the emergency response, trying to engage more into this sort of, as well into the disaster risk reduction, reducing vulnerabilities approach. So that means that that I think can be linked very closely with a lot of the local actors, especially as a lot of the cases, even in conflict areas, are now a sort of protected crisis where you need to keep inside at least, or the possibility to connectivity to development projects in your vision.
Sure.
We still define ourselves as the principal actor, and we're really clear in preserving the necessary neutrality and independence in what we do. But if you look at dealing with the basic vulnerabilities, trying to get more dignity to the people, then I think at least sort of some rehabilitation activities and prevention activities still make sense.
How do you balance that neutrality with the need for political engagement through summits like this, for example, to try to find the political solutions that are required as well?
I'm always a bit concerned when people say like sort of you endanger your neutrality if you do humanitarian advocacy. I think humanitarian advocacy is still neutral because you address the fundamental problems that people have in terms of their dignity and their living conditions, and this needs to be addressed, and this can be addressed as well under the aspect of neutrality, because we are talking about the fundamental dignity and living possibilities for these people, and hence I don't think that this is a problem really. I mean, in terms of perception, how you perceive them from the outside, of course you need to be very clear and you need to be very coherent in what you do. But in terms of our defining our own work and advocating for respect on humanitarian principles of IHL, on the fundamental dignity for these people, that is, I don't think that is incoherent with the concept of neutrality.
Excellent, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
What do you hope to take away from the summit?
Well, first of all, we've been working with the ACT Alliance on this summit, and I think a lot of the commitments that we did through the ACT Alliance and we did ourselves have been encouraging not only to send them out, but as well to discuss it among us. So it's something that will help, or that helps us as well to clearer define. We have a strategy, of course, we have long-term strategies for the next 5 years, but it helps us as well to rethink some of them in more detail and get rethink them a bit more detail. Another thing which is great for us, it's like sort of local humanitarian, like local actors reinforcing their role, strengthening them. It's something that has been really prominent here, where we are really happy about this, because this is has been one of our main asks. We hope that this is taken forward as well in the grant bargain process, that we can be more flexible with our funding, that the bureaucratic elements are reduced, that all these points that are important if you work with local actors together. And then as well, like sort of to take this role of capacity building really serious, and to think how we can even improve there. For example, in cash, where we have an NGO-wide assessment in Germany now, where we're leading as Diakonie Katastrophenhilfe, trying to improve cash capacity. Because it's a challenge for us as partners, and it's a challenge for our local partners who are implementing it, and so we really want to, and it's encouraging to see that these topics have been on the agenda.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for sharing your perspectives.
Most welcome. Thank you very much.